rolling. Sending out Facebook and Twitter.
Oh yeah, let me get onto that stream, brother. Let me get into that stream, brother. Bloop.
Can you at everyone in the Discord and send it out?
I already did.
Cool. All right, cool. Now I can close that. Don't have to have that open. Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Shall we play a game?
Oh my god.
Shall we play a game?
Oh wow, it really I'm so much more audible with that on than like just normal. Oh wow, I'm so much more audible with that on than like
You're echoing, by the way.
Oh. I'm so yeah.
You're echoing, by the way. Yeah, it's like sending your audio through twice somehow.
Okay.
It's like playing the recording that you made.
Okay, I'm muted. Oh, well, I wonder. Okay, I might have to fix that.
I mean, it's not doing it right now.
Can you talk for a little bit? I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Hello. I am talking. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Something, dark side. Talking. 1, 2, 3, 4. PJKK, Puka, Goji, Pokemans, Ghostbusters.
Okay, I think it was just doing it because I was listening to the audio on the live stream.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Is my stream working properly? Looks like it. Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we seem to be better now.
Yeah, when I mute that, or when I have the stream muted, I don't hear any weird,
Cool.
extra audio. That's weird though. I wonder why the mixer is doing that. I need to.
You're talking, you're not talking like the Discord stream. You're talking.
Yeah, no. Sorry. When I listen to the stream on
the Twitch stream,
the Twitch stream,
okay.
For some reason, it's piping the Twitch stream audio into my mixer, and then my mixer is repeating that audio back out to my computer.
Weird.
Which is where the weird echo is coming from. So
it's like the monitor is on somehow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. Well. So, last time on PJKK, the official game of the movie, Anne was running away from a V-Rex and Kong was trying to save her. But when Kong got to the top of the mountain to save Anne, a V-Rex knocked him off the cliff. And Anne ran away from the V-Rex that is left. That's where we left off.
Oh, no.
Yeah. This will be the second, half-ish of the game. I believe we're actually a little bit further than halfway through already. But it's good stuff. It's just me and Rob tonight. We have a few things that we'll be just chatting about while I'm playing, the best I can, while I'm focusing on trying not to get killed. Yeah, there's some good stuff, and you'll probably hear us talk about some of this tomorrow as well during the After Dark for you, you After Dark peeps that may be listening. Yeah, so I'm going to hit play.
Yeah.
Get going. Hit play. Oh, the echo's back.
Okay, good. So it is just literally when I listen to the stream. All right, well.
Okay, as long as you can listen to the OBS stream.
Yeah, I can listen to the OBS stream. I just wanted to dip in for a second and see, like, why is it doing that?
Oh my god!
New tech. god! Aw, there he is. Listen, you can kill 800 of these V-Rexes. They'll keep coming back. Oh, well. Rip Ann, you know?
Yep, she's dead. Don't worry about it. I have no gun. I have no nothing.
Punch him. Punch the V-Rex. You gotta establish dominance. You gotta get in there and punch him right on his little snoot. Oh. Oh, he's
Fair man.
quick. He's presenting. Or just very slowly swim away.
Yeah, I'm stuck in the water. It's making me walk slow.
The good thing is it hasn't noticed you.
I need fire.
Fire, please. Fire. I love.
Oh, whoops. Is there fire?
Just-
Oh, nope, she's dead.
Oh, ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, oh. Ah, jeez.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't supposed to get fire. I'm supposed to distract it.
Just throws, yeah, throw a few lances at it, get it really
Yep.
annoyed, fired up.
Get it pissed off at me instead of Anne. Yeah, there you go. She said it. I didn't notice that she said that last time.
Please, just distract him by hitting him with something, please. Try everything.
Run!
Let's go faster. Hold him back. I love that she's like, I don't know, man. Figure it out for me. This is not a great situation for any of us. I think you have his attention. Oh,
Here he
boy.
comes. He's a little pissed.
You can just hear her running in the distance. Just
Yeah,
By
she's
the way-
trying to open the door. She's a thing.
nice. She's doing all this barefoot and in like a soaked, like skin-colored dress. So I mean, frankly, good.
You
on her.
gotta give some credit where credit's due, right? She is.
You gotta give respect, mad respect for her attempt there.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I don't have any weapons. Ah. Bad V-Rex.
Oh no.
Oh, I missed. Ooh, I pissed him off. He's glitching. He's glitching.
He's mad. Uh-oh.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I'm coming, Ann. I'm coming. Jesus Christ.
Hey, please. Please come faster.
Okay, but like,
Huh.
oh,
What? There you go. Wow, you really this is a thrill ride intro to the stream, huh?
yeah, right.
Oh, oh, oh. Get up here, girlfriend, wife. I think you guys are okay, actually. You can probably just stop right there, like. Yeah. Oh, ow, ow, oh, his head's stuck. Oh wait, no, look back. Oh, oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, his neck was
Getcha.
Yeah, this game is in dire need of a remaster for sure. You know what's funny though? Like, I wish I could be playing the PS2 version of the game, honestly. Because the PS2 version is the one that I actually grew up playing. And it's
Yeah.
a little less glitchy than this
How
one.
are you doing, Jimmy?
Hi, Mr.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, because think about it. This is a launch 360 game, like literally
Yeah.
launch 360. So the PS2 one is running on hardware that they knew how to mess with and everything like that. Whereas here, it's like brand new tech, and
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's just there's those glitches like you saw with the V-Rex, like snapping his neck backwards.
No, I mean, there's been little tiny fun bugs every once in a while, but nothing like game breaking. Like where I don't know. I feel like we've entered the era of like games that are so broken that they're like fundamental flaws happen regularly on games now.
Mhm.
It's him. It's him. It's gone. It's gone.
He's looking for you. He's looking for you. Look out! Look out!
Way to turn off microphone monitoring so that there wasn't like a echo. Well, I guess I don't really need to listen to the stream, so I'm gonna stop reading that and instead focus on the stream.
I'll go first.
And I really do appreciate the lighting in this game.
Oh, dude, it's so good. For a launch 360 game, like having the light blooms coming through like holes and stuff, is so like ahead of its time for sure.
I guess listen, ultimately I'm just an old man. I'm just an old man screaming at clouds, but like, did we need to go any further than this with video games? I feel like we probably like could have just kept doing this. Maybe just slightly better polygons, but you know, I feel like at this point, you know, we've gone too far down a dark path. So tonight I'm going to talk with the Legal Geeks guy about the current decision, legal wise, that Toho has with the bootlegger situation in was it Illinois or Indiana or something, where there
It's
was like
Illinois,
another
yeah.
where there's another like convention that's basically being turbo sued.
Yeah.
Specifically, they're suing people for having knockoff, like bootleg versions of like toys that like Toho doesn't make anymore, or you know that no one.
Yeah. So okay.
Which are pretty different than fan art, but looking into it, fan. Oh no! Oh, it missed. Oh, he's good. He's fine. He's he's missing his hand now, but he's fine. He's okay. Someone's hurt. Yeah, man. He got his arm ripped off. Ooh, oh, ooh. Oh, good kick. Good ones. He shot his arm off as well. A lot of handless folk at the end of this adventure. So yeah, I'm gonna talk with him tonight.
So
yeah,
what I was gonna say though, real quick, is that like it sounds like, from what I'm gathering, it sounds like the issue isn't art; it's merchandise. So like, if
but
you
merchandise
like, art
also
is fine, but like,
well, okay, that's the thing. Prints are also not allowed. So if
okay, see, that's where it sounds like it's actually a little bit like some wonky like legal stuff, because it depends on it's all an actual number game when it comes to prints. So like, it's like one print is fine, and from what I read, like 10 prints is fine. But once it becomes like mass produced, quote unquote, is when it's not okay.
Because there's no terminology for what mass produced is the problem.
Exactly.
Right? So like Lisa was saying, like based off of like what she's been hearing, is she can't bring, like she could do a bunch of like hand drawn stuff or one off like individual prints of hand drawn things. But she could bring like a batch of like, you know, 10 Hedra kissing King Caesar pictures, you know?
Yes. But
She's
also, one of the
and-
ones that's really rough is you can't do. So like you can't do any sort of. Oh Hayes. Oh God Hayes.
Whoa, oh,
Uh-oh.
help me! Help! I'm part of the rock now. Help me!
It's okay.
Get me down from here! Oh my God, he's being about abomination. Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Anomalied. He's being anomalied right now.
But no, okay, so what I was trying to say is, like, anytime it like, also, like, for instance, oh God, I might have to reload because of Hayes stuck up in the fucking ceiling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's being
Yeah, this is, like,
abomination.
not the time for me to try and form sentences. Okay, but, like, if you try and do any sort of, like, even if it's, like, stupid merchandise stuff, like coasters or stickers, that's
Yeah.
completely unallowed. You cannot do that,
Yeah.
according to the law.
Which,
Supposedly.
like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just
Hayes,
like,
Hayes,
I
you gonna
understand.
get down?
No, I'm hurt. I'm hurt real bad. My spine's fused with the rock. Help me. Help.
Are we gonna be able to continue, or am I gonna have to restart?
See if he maybe just spawns into a new location if you just keep moving forward, or will it not let
Well,
you?
that's the thing is I have to wait for
Oh,
something to spawn in this area. So
no.
I'm worried.
Oh no.
I'm worried that like if I
I busted. All right. Dang it. Well,
all right, let's try this again. Yes,
shucks,
let's
Ollie.
save. Sure.
Well, homily do for naught, as they say.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah, so that like any sort of merchandise is not allowed, but prints,
Yeah.
that's where it's complicated from what I have gathered, and I haven't talked to anybody yet, which I'm glad you're going to, because I think
Yeah.
it's a very weird legal like
Well, I'm glad
loophole.
I'm glad you brought that up because that also is the weird thing. So fan art itself is also in murky territory when it comes to legality. So I read a bunch of stuff last night.
Specifically in international copyright.
Well, I mean, even in just straight up like American, like
Well,
fan art,
yeah, but in America, like most companies are just kind of like, eh.
they don't seem to care. Admittedly, I mean, Team Sonic doesn't care. They're super down for it. They're like, yes, thank you. Someone likes our product, even though it's usually bad.
No, I mean, that's what I was bringing up to Kyoe too. Is like even I mean like Marvel and DC though are like very much like they don't care, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's you know.
It's okay.
So the thing is, from what I was reading last night, is because fan art is in a legal gray zone, and if you're selling it, like if a company doesn't want you to sell that, they could take you to court and then argue like, well, is this even different enough to count as fair use, right?
Right.
Like, you know, I frankly think, like, you know, and I keep, you know, kind of pointing back to Lisa's because I think, man, hey, I'm just so familiar with them. Oh,
Forgot how
geez.
much
The
of
team
a shit show this level is.
just keep grabbing rib spikes. Oh no!
Die.
But yeah, I keep going back to Lisa's, but like, okay, so easy example. Lisa's art of like famous kaiju, like, you know, Toho characters kissing, right?
Uh-huh.
That I think falls very clearly under fair use because at no point have any of the monsters in Toho ever kissed. In fact, sometimes they've never even met. Like she has, you know, like
Yeah.
one where it was like Gigan, but like sexy leather daddy Gigan, and then like I forgot who else it was, but they were was it Megalon? Because they've met. But anyway, like them
So
kissing.
this is really cool.
Uh-oh.
Do you see what that is right in front of me?
Yeah.
No, like literally, do you see what that is?
Her making a sexy pose? Or
No!
the-
I'm
The
trying to show
slightly-
you. This. Do you recognize what it is?
No, the slightly bigger raptor?
It's not a raptor.
Oh, is that a baby V-Rex?
Uh huh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no. That's not good. Oh, the bomb.
All right, let's try this again, shall we?
Down there, Jack. Get ready. This one's twice as big.
All right, here you go. This is it. Gotcha.
So if you've read, which I know most people haven't, if you've read the art book, oh god,
Oh no. Oh no. Did Hayes push that over, or did the baby V-Rex do that?
oh the baby V-Rex does, yeah,
Oh.
he can break concrete.
Oh, shit.
Get off of him,
I thought
Jesus!
someone to try and hurt the baby V-Rex, and they just missed. He's having fun though. He's protecting you.
Yeah,
what is he?
they fight,
Chopper?
but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that actually this is technically in canon with the lore of Peter Jackson's Skull Island, is that
Oh.
V-Rexes, when they are young, actually hunt in packs and are very big predator competitors for the raptors. So it's pretty
Oh.
cool that they actually like brought them in for a couple of levels in this game to bring in some baby Rexes.
That's
There
pretty
he is.
good.
Oh, he disappeared.
Whereas someone recreating a previous poster, like of G84, for example, would fall in that gray area of maybe not being fair use. So
Right, because
unfortunately-
then you're reproducing something that Toho has made
yes,
versus
and that-
like just using a character that exists in
correct.
a Toho thing, which
Yeah.
that makes sense for the most part. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like
It's
but that's the
unfortunate.
thing is
Gray
like,
area is unfortunate, right?
well, yeah, but that's the thing though is like honestly, having been to G Fest and seeing most of the art there. There's very little that is like reproductions of specific things. It's all like
Right.
it may be a
Absolutely.
Godzilla vs. Biollante poster, but it's a poster that's never been made by Toho. Like
Correct.
it's completely
Yeah.
original art.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like we're gonna probably take the side of the people we're personal friends with over,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I made that statement in our chat and I stand by it. Like
Yeah.
we are 100% sticking with the artists. Like we're you know
Yeah.
that's not even a question. Like
Yeah.
like the
So I'm
artists
just
are the
really-
ones that are being screwed over here, not
Yeah.
JD Lee's. JD Lee's
Yeah.
is I want to say being a coward, but I don't know if that's the right
Well-
terminology.
I don't want to, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to moralize it. Obviously, morally, I'm on one very specific side, but
Yes.
I don't want to call into question like someone's they're being a scoundrel or something like that. I do like with this research hope that I find like a more like crisp and clean legal answer to things,
Yes.
and then talk about afterwards. Kind of like the morality side, because like when it comes to like morality, Toho very clearly sees now that Godzilla is a moneymaker, and one of the things we didn't consider with them focusing on this World of Godzilla stuff, back in like 2019 when they announced like we're going to do the World of Godzilla, and we were all really pumped about that, but we didn't take into consideration that meant that like they were going to be doing their own official merch for a bunch of stuff, and so a lot of fan merch would then become not wouldn't work out anymore.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Toho does have
Do you want to climb up on top of that bench thing, or hey,
no,
you got it.
I just needed to throw fire up there so I can move past the waterfall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Toho does not have exactly a great history when it comes to like their protectiveness of their stuff. they've always been a little overprotective, and understandably so. Like, I'm not trying to badmouth Toho on that, because it does
Yeah.
make sense. Like, there's been a lot of, I mean, Godzilla became part of the cultural zeitgeist, and like everything was like, oh, if it's a giant, giant creature, it's something Zilla. Like, I
Or, yeah.
understand the like the reasoning behind Toho being overprotective, but at the same time, I do think that like Toho should also be aware that their creature is a little bit of a fan, thing at this point,
Yeah.
right? Like it is a
Yeah.
little beyond them. Like whether they want there to be or not, there's always going to be fan art. There's always going to be unofficial material,
Yeah.
unofficial
Yeah.
sales of things. Like, so there's ways that they could make it easier for people like Lisa, like little artists that are trying to sell stuff at conventions. I'm not talking about people that are fucking like mass producing fucking art. I'm talking about like this person who's trying to sell 30 pieces of art at a con. Like that's
Yeah.
not
mean-
something that Toho should be worried about. Like that's
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even if someone did show up with like 100 million copies of their fan art of, Godzilla riding a tricycle or whatever,
Uh-huh.
like, what threat is that to like the Godzilla IP specifically?
Yeah.
What I think the main thing that my point of contention is that it ultimately is like it is a fear-based response where it is, like like Godzilla is a financially viable thing again. We are sure of that after 2016's, Shin Godzilla. We have a proper resurgence of Godzilla, The thing is that with that mentality, they're now kind of like starting to enforce these kinds of, admittedly, technically legal things to kind of like bring back like a very consolidated source of like legality with their merch, right? So they don't want like a bunch of like fan merch because that doesn't benefit them. But they'll reach out to Cavity, Candy Cavity, is that it? Or
Cavity Colors.
Cavity Colors or Mondo or whoever else, and they'll make official Hera merch. They'll make official Biollante merch, even though those characters are only really still in the cultural zeitgeist because of fans and fan artists. And that's the thing that I think is really important, that is kind of overlooked in this situation, is that a lot of how the fandom continued without their purview or without their their awareness, while they were kind of like focusing on other things, other IPs, or even just like not doing film in general for like most of the 2010s.
Right.
And I think that that's something to really kind of like keep in mind when we talk about like the value of fan art and the value of like fan culture.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times we do talk about kind of like the dangers of fan culture. We see it a lot where it's like, a crummy, like, a crummy like attitude of like, this is our, like, we own this property kind of thing, and like, oh no, they've added a person of color, let's attack, like, let's, anyone who, like, hey, let's attack that actress or whatever. But in that same regard, fandoms are what keep IPs alive and viable to have, your reboots and your, remakes and whatever else. It is those fandoms and that nostalgia and the people who fuel that nostalgia, which are ultimately other fans, that keep those things alive. So yeah, I mean, there's a two lane highway here, and I think that they're kind of really, suppressing one chunk of their community because now it's like financially viable again. You know, it's a So I mean,
It's I
so
like okay,
that's
so that's the
that up.
thing. It's I just think that like I think honestly what it really boils down to for me and why I will especially always take the side of the artist when it comes to fan art and stuff like that is ultimately to me I understand companies need to protect their IPs. I get that, but I also really know that these are corporations. And yeah, maybe Toho isn't a Nintendo or a DC or a Marvel, but they are a big corporation. Like and they have kind of like what you were saying, like
Yeah,
for a long period of time, it was impossible to find any sort of Godzilla merchandise in the States. And
yeah,
like, I think that is, like, okay, sure, like, yeah, maybe they are on their way to try and fix that. Maybe they are trying to solve that problem by actually, going to these companies and stuff. And it's great that they are doing that. I'm not denying that. I think it's fantastic.
yeah,
Having actual, real merchandise in the States is fantastic. However, the assassination of a fan culture in a society is not okay either. And I do think that these corporations sometimes lose sight of that. You know,
We just have to
Toho does, or Toho is, the one we're talking about. But another big one that we all know is, how Nintendo acts to fan created version like games and stuff, like how they just like assassinate it, you know what I mean, without even thinking
yeah,
like, oh, we could hire these people to make a game for us and we would get so much street cred with our fans because everybody already loves this game that they made. And it's like kind of the same thing with Toho. It's like Toho like hires, I mean they are hiring some Godzilla artists, but they're not hiring a lot. I mean,
yeah,
like, it's mainly Matt Frank, which I'm not dissing Matt Frank. I love his art. I love that he's getting actual work. But like,
yeah,
there's people like Lisa and stuff like that could be hired for like, oh, you already are a fan and you make these amazing like little like buttons and stuff. Well, we're gonna hire you to, maybe slightly redesign them, but we're gonna sell your official buttons as real merchandise.
yeah.
And like literally every single fucking person who does fan art would be like, absolutely, yes, please,
Yeah.
like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you gave a pathway for people to, you know, make profit off the IP as well as you,
Mhm.
um, then yeah,
Where
like
am I
if that
going?
door was open. The problem is that the door is decidedly
Oh,
not. Matt Frank, who does literally have contacts within Toho itself,
yes.
and Legendary, and well, Daiei, and whoever else, and Arrow, and whoever owns the rights to Gamera, you know,
Yeah.
who has ins with like big major studios, cannot get a day license. He
No.
tried, like
Yeah.
and he can't do like so he can't print out a he can't bring like comics, he can't bring
Yeah. You can't bring anything.
like yeah, so he just has to like sit there and be like, hey, I'm an artist, come talk with me, hang out, and he can afford to do that because he's a professional, well-paid artist now.
Yeah.
But the
He has other avenues of
yes,
art. Like it's not
yeah,
just Godzilla. He's
careful.
absolutely,
you
Step back,
know.
step back.
Like and I mean
so
not to mention like a big artist like him, and we know a lot of small ones, but even they like do commission work, and I mean
yeah,
that's a big source of income for a lot of these fan artists, which, as it turns out, is pretty legal as far as legality is concerned, as long as it's a one-off and it's not a replicant of. Can you make me the G84 poster? It's like Matt Frank. Can you draw me Godzilla fighting the Dragon Zord? Like
yeah,
that's allowed for the most part, unless a studio or a company specifically wants to say no, which they are usually because it's a court case. Usually they are in their rights to do that, and most, and also like I mean, if you're a fan artist, your instant thing is if like I mean if you hear Toho's gonna sue you, like you're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna do fan art anymore. Like you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna try and fight it because you're a person probably living in America who can't even afford rent. So how are
yeah.
you gonna fight a big studio on a fucking
No,
copyright
that's
case?
Exactly. Like that's the problem is that like the basic understanding of like, well, I mean, you could just go and like do something. It's like like there's a lot of flippancy I'm seeing from people who are on like the side of G Fest, where there's this kind of like, oh well, just like just do it the easy, do it this the correct way. Well, the correct way is unfeasible.
Hmm.
So like I mean, it comes down to admittedly like I I,
We'll have
I
a better
get
view
that
of things from up
JD
there.
is a trying to cover his ass, which CYA, I get it. I've been in jobs before where that is the rule number one of working there.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of sucks that like he's like portrayed as someone who does stand up for something in the community, and it would be cool if he stood up for artists, and at the very least was like, hey, you know, let's try and find a way for you to be able to sell art. But I mean, within that same structure, that power structure, you have to like kind of realize that, like he is super limited. But if the communication was on board of like, I really want to make G a legitimate Godzilla festival, and I need to have close like legal and like you know, close contact with Toho to do that. So I'm going to play things by the book, by by wide margins. I respect if you don't like this, I will be offering refunds. If there was that kind of communication, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. That
But I
communication was
also think, okay, so here's where that breaks down for me with JD,
yeah
and honestly with some of the artists that do have connections.
yeah
Um,
He must have
I
thought it was
think
such water reaching
that
land.
those
The other
artists
side of the swamp.
who do have contact with Toho, like Matt Frank,
yeah
and do have a good relationship with Toho,
yeah
or whoever, Dai, it doesn't fucking matter, should like try and like maybe work with, probably what it should be is JD should be reaching out to these artists that do have direct connections with Toho and talking to them and being like, "Hey, can you reach out to your contacts to maybe make this a more official thing so that the people that actually already have those contacts and those connections are enable or not enabling what's the word I'm looking for? Being an ally to the little
yeah
artists, right? It
yes
should be this community wide thing of like, oh man, we can't do it like we've been doing it because Toho is, breaking down on how fan art and stuff like that can be sold. Okay, well, why aren't
yeah
we having conversations with
and
Toho to be like, hey, like I understand you don't like how it's going right now. Well, why can't we work a way that these artists and these people that have
correct
been doing things for your fandom and your
Ye-
stuff like you're saying, like
yes
these
that
people have
level
kept
of
the Godzilla fandom
communication.
alive when Godzilla was on hiatus for 15 years, like
That's
like
where my argument of morality does come in towards the end.
yeah,
I think that legally he's within his right, and he's doing the as far as I can tell the best thing for the convention's health as it stands. But he's not doing his best communicating what the future of the festival looks like and what
right,
that means for the community.
right,
And I think that's where that breakdown happens is
yeah,
without that like clean and clear communication. And this is something legit we literally just had a conversation about within our own like the Tokyo Lives team about
yeah,
the importance of communication recently.
yep,
And we were all like, yeah, that's a good point. And like we all agreed on it. It was like a good conversation. And I feel like if three admittedly or four goofballs can kind of like communicate and work through something like that, it feels like someone who's been running a decades long fan convention should also have the maturity and ability to have open and clear dialogue with people and offer solutions.
A case.
And that's the thing. The
Anyone wants
solution
to
shouldn't
this?
be, well, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Figure it out.
no, no, it
Because
should be,
that's
let's figure this out together and find a way for this convention
for
to still
community. Absolutely.
working. Still, this
100%.
convention that has been going on for a very, very, very long time
Yeah.
and we've all, maybe we have been stuck in our ways, and maybe, yeah, maybe we were working in little murky grounds. But there's also, I mean, everybody's joked about this, and I totally agree with why everybody's joking about this. There's also the murkiness of, like, the stuff that's still going to be allowed at G-Fest. Like,
Yes.
that is 100% illegal. Everyone is aware that it's illegal, and yet, for some reason, that is being completely ignored by JD and the
Yeah.
like the people that are running the convention. It's like
I mean,
you're
I'm
you're sitting
willing.
here bitching about fan art when you've got like three separate entities. Oh god. In the dealer room that are selling bootleg DVDs of material that is not, you know, it's not legal to do that. You can't sell bootlegs. It's not a thing that you can sell even with fair use. Like, you can't rip a
Yeah.
copy of Justice League, the
Correct.
cartoon, and sell it at a convention. Like, that's
Yeah.
not okay.
I can assume that in his, because this is all very, it is 100% related to Toho and Toho's legality.
Yes.
I'm willing to bet that if, like, someone walked up there that was a Toho rep and saw a bunch of DVDs laid out, but none of them said Godzilla, and it was just, like weird Ultraman things that aren't
Oh, yeah.
like available in America, or weird anime that no one's, heard of. I don't think that they're going to care as much because it's not their product. Mind you,
No.
if they go there front and center, there's a big old, DVD collection of the Heisei, show or whatever, then they'll probably be upset, and that
But
would be a
I mean, I will say, just call it out right now, that those bootleggers do sell Godzilla and stuff.
oh, that's true.
Because
Dang.
that's the thing, is because you always, people always forget, but like, and I mean, this is kind of on Toho, and this is something, I mean, every G fan agrees, is
Yeah.
that, like, some Godzilla movies are not the easiest to get in America because the rights, Toho sold the rights to a weird company that's now defunct. And now, no one can make DVDs of it in English anymore.
Yeah.
And Toho doesn't care about a,
Sure.
a worldwide release enough to, do anything about
Yeah.
that. I mean, and once again, I'm going to pause it real quick because I really need to talk
Oh, sure.
this through all the way because
Al-
it's about
Also,
to get to
I
an
will.
intense scene. Um, but like, so it's not, so bootlegging Godzilla movies in America became kind of like a norm, during the especially the dead years for Godzilla. Like, like, I mean, people bootlegged Final Wars like
Yeah.
hardcore because it took forever to come out in the States. Actually, I don't even think it took that long, but it took long enough that everybody was like just really downtrodden about it. And everybody knew that it was the last Godzilla movie for 10 years. Like, oh god, like,
Yeah.
and then like, yeah, Godzilla versus Biollante. You 100% cannot buy that in America right now.
Yeah.
Like, all the Blu-rays that came out are like, hardcore, like, out of print. You could buy them, but they're going to cost you like $700 for a single Blu-ray, like, it's just ridiculous. And so, Toho is getting better, like we said, like you brought up with the World of Godzilla. Toho is, starting to make things in America that are, fun and, like, great. Like, like all these people getting licenses to make officially licensed Godzilla stuff. That's great, especially like, t-shirt companies like Cavity Colors and stuff like that, who's like a pretty indie company, but like, they're getting a lot of attention because they're doing Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's great, and I think it's wonderful, and I think Toho is moving in the right direction. I think they really are with what they are doing. I think they honestly are moving in the right direction. I mean, for the people that went saw 84 and Biollante, people noticed a very strange thing where the Janus Films logo was in front of both films, which
Yeah.
is, of course, the Criterion Collection, which is very confusing because, as far as we knew, the rights hadn't been sold to them, so I don't know why that is, unless something happened behind the scenes and we're about to get a Blu-ray announcement or something, the Heisei collection or something, which is possible, but not trying to get my hopes up. But so I guess when it boils down to bring it all back is that, once again, I think that what's bothering me most about how JD is doing this and how this thing that is such an intricate part of fan community is fan art
Yeah.
and selling prints and having people make amazing art of your property. And like, there are companies that embrace that stuff, like
Yeah.
Sega is a really good example, not just
Yeah.
for fan art, but like literally they
Sonic.
hired
Yeah.
people that made an amazing fan game, and they were like, you know what, we would
Yeah.
love a new 2D fan game, 2D Sonic game, please come make
Absolutely.
this for us. And they
Yeah.
got hired, and it was one of the best Sonic games in the last,
Yeah.
2 decades. Um, and so like Toho needs to learn to embrace the fan side of the community with like not just maybe cracking down on some sales of certain things is fine as long as Toho is producing those things in the States. Like for instance, if Godzilla stickers are something you can walk into FYE and just pick up, like, well, yeah, of course Toho's going to crack down on fans making their own and selling their own at a convention. Like that makes sense because they're available to people in the United States to buy. The problem is right now is we're still not quite at that level. You know what I mean? We're still not quite at like Godzilla
Yeah.
being like everywhere. It's most places, but it's not everywhere.
No,
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's my rant about it. I know I'm going to rant about it tomorrow when we record the podcast too, but
Yeah.
I think that number one, the Godzilla community should really rally together, not necessarily against G Fest, but behind trying to get a hold of Toho and contact them and like plead their
Yes.
case for what we are doing is helping you, not hurting you. Like that's what I think needs to come across to Toho. And someone who's corporate or someone who's trying to run a convention is not going to do that for you. They're not going
Yeah.
to go to Toho and say like, "Oh, well the fans are really helping you." No, the fans themselves, the people that are making these amazing art,
Yeah.
need to rally behind people that are like Matt Frank, the people that have stuff like, and just like have that clout and go to Toho, or have Matt Frank be the one to go to Toho, because he
Yeah.
he has that direct connection, and take some of these people's art with them. Take some of Lisa's art. Take some of all these like small time artists that were selling their stuff at G Fest with him straight to Toho and being like, look, these are what these fans are producing, and these are what they are just trying to enhance your product with.
Yeah.
Can we work something out? Because
Yeah.
that's not what's happening right now. Right now, it's JD ghosting people that had tables at G Fest to sell art and not giving people refunds and not communicating anything to anybody. And Matt Frank is like, I guess I'll go to G Fest, but like, I'm not gonna make any money from it, and I know I'm gonna have a convention that's probably gonna be like at the exact same time that I could go to, that I could make money from, because they don't care.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just the G community really has to step up for itself here,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're going to, unfortunately.
I don't know that they're not going to stand up for themselves. I think what we're going to be seeing is, like, yeah, I agree. I think that there should be kind of a push from our community to kind of get people, to organize. I mean,
Mhm.
it's one of the reasons I really want to start doing, or why I've started doing so much research on this, is because I really want to have a solution at the end. And like, I mean, my granddad was a huge fan, and like, so was my grandmother, and like most of my family, in that that boomer, right, that silent generation. And
Oh,
like,
by the way,
they're
this is a
like,
great level. Not to interrupt. You keep
Oh,
talking.
no,
I
no.
just wanted to let you know this level is fantastic.
I'll wrap this up quick. I think that my granddad saying, which I think he even got from like one of his other union friends, was always bring a crowd. Oh, I love that.
Hey, we're saved. The plane's landing. Ah, fuck.
Ah,
Follow me! Follow me!
Oh shit! Jesus Christ!
wow.
Oh god, he got me.
Yeah, wait. Has No Pope said he was going to go to this convention or not? Also, hey,
To
Will,
G
how's it
Fest?
going?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. Also, hey, Will.
Shall we play a game?
That was-
Run, run, run,
Man, I
run,
love
run,
this,
run, run, run,
this
run.
new little audio mixer. It's so fun.
Hey, Rexy. Fuck off.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah, this
Not
level's
cool.
really cool. I love honestly, this game is at its best when it's the T-Rex chasing you, because it's like it's so freaking tense. And I don't just say that because I'm a T-Rex fan. I think like the game just like gets this tension behind it, like the river level
Yeah.
that we had last time,
Yeah.
where you're just
I
on the
think-
raft and the Rex is just like the both of them are
Yeah.
coming down the river after you. Like that's so good.
No, I agree with you. I think that the T-Rex is just a very imposing figure, but it's not like as mobile as Kong, so you get that
Right.
feeling as like the Jurassic Park shooter games, You're
Yeah.
a little like little thing. So my power voice.
More deep.
What's going on? What am I supposed to be doing? Supposed to be shooting something?
Oh no, I hope it didn't glitch again. It looks like it might have glitched.
It might have glitched.
Ah, jeez.
I don't think that's supposed to be like that.
Is there supposed to be? There's kind of looks like there was supposed to be a. Oh well, it catches fire. Uh-oh. There's a bird coming.
Where are you at, Rexy?
Early. I should.
There is a way.
Oh, there we go.
Change
Someone out there.
There we go. Rexy just had to figure out that we were in here.
Yay! Oh man, I'm gonna eat you. Ah, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think making some kind of organization of, artists and fans that do find, and like that's the thing. Like at its core, I think that like that fan art community and fan community in general, which is very tethered to fan art, is so important to the longevity of a community and specifically of an IP.
Climb up there.
And I think that making some kind of like, making the path easier for a legalized version of selling a product is the path forward. It's kind of like, streaming killed pirating. Not 100%, but it, once it was easier to stream like, a movie than it was to pirate it, pirating stopped being as like vital. And now that there's 2 million services you have to pay for to watch any one movie, pirating's starting to come back in a big way. But if
But
you
it's
want
still
people
less
to
than
do-
it was before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The thing is, if you want people to do something legally, make it easy to do it legally.
Yes.
Don't just be like, we're gonna add a bunch of hurdles and be like, so we don't want, because that's kind of what's being said.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
to make this decision.
Come here, Rexy.
Here, girl.
Just gotta feed her some bats. Don't worry about it. Hey.
Oh, you gonna be friends with her by feeding enough bats? I think she was gonna leave you.
No, she's going after Anne. Anne's trying to climb up the.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Anne's trying to climb up the thing up there. In fact, I need to snipe this.
Uh-oh. Nice. Oh, you just made it angrier.
Get you. Hey, over here.
Ow. Ow. Oop.
Oh shit, Anne's being attacked.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you're exactly spot on. I was trying to think of like what conclusion I wanted to make or like what like the final step was. And first it was like, oh well, like maybe I'll just reach out to all the other podcasts and we'll like do like a big advertisement push for all of the all of the artists. And then I was like, that's a very short-term solution.
Yeah.
And I think yours is absolutely like a better way to go. Like contact people who have inroads with Toho and talking about like, hey, how can we like ease the legalization process?
Hey,
of
remember
se-
Hayes dying in the original?
Oh, did he just? Oh. Wow.
It's a bit of a different death than the original.
A little bit. Kong to the rescue. Well, except for Hayes.
Hayes
Oh,
is nope.
well, gosh
Hayes is
dang.
definitely not feeling too hot right now.
Gee Willikers.
No,
all right,
for sure. You're yeah. I think we're both, you know, thinking the exact same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I like your solution a lot. I think that's kind of how I want to end. You know. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk.
That's how you'll end the article, probably.
Yeah. No, I mean that's absolutely kind of like the because I like whenever I make like a proposal for plans at work, I like to end things with like next steps. I think it helps people to give someone like an actionable thing. God, get
Oop, shit.
oh, changed my mind.
My bad. Oh, that's a great view. It's a great view.
Ooh, it's censored. It's censored. What he's doing is just so raw. It's so bad. Oh. Well, it's a good thing we hid that.
Yep.
On okay, at the end of this fight, I'll go get some hot air. I didn't bring any to my computer desk, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is
Oh,
the third time it's happened.
Oh, up. Oh, up.
I'll admit they probably could have found a better way to do this segment. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to play Kong, but I feel like maybe there's too many sections where you're Kong chasing and he's been trapped by the buzzard vulture.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why a lot of people actually complained about the Kong levels the most, because they, as fun as they are, like, and they really are fun. They are really fun to like.
For all the other stuff with like being Adrian Brody and just kind of faffing about.
Yep.
Nice. Oop. Oh, shoot.
Oh man. Oh no. Oh no.
He just got Kong started to fall, T-posed, and then disappeared.
Yeah, I gotta say, honestly, it's funny because it's like, oh man, of course, the time that I'm actually playing this for like a stream is when it's the most glitchy. But this is the most glitchy playthrough of this game I've ever had. Like, I'm not like even just trying to defend the game. I'm like literally, I have never had half of these problems. But it makes it entertaining, so.
I mean, listen, glitches are fun. It's better than if it works perfectly. I think that's the thing. Video games are always more memorable when some weird culmination of events happens and you accidentally break reality on the video game,
Yep.
Oh, got your little fingies inside of a vine on that one.
Yep.
Give me back my girlfriend.
I'm fighting two of them. I don't know if you noticed. Nope, they got me.
Oh, ah, jeez. Ooh, oh. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Doctor Strange shows up in the legendary monster mode. Godzilla's like, I want my arms back. And then he tries to make alternate realities. He's like, okay, but Ghidorah will still be alive. He's like, no! And he knocks over this magical space cube. And then a bunch of really different timelines show up. That's the one thing they all have in common. I'll get killed by a Godzilla.
Yes, of course I have played Gears of War, and they're amazing. I love Gears of War. It's great. Been a fan since the beginning.
3. I've heard 4, and then whatever the most recent one was. I have not played them.
Yeah, they're really good. They're different. Like I think that's what I like about the new, I guess the new trilogy that they're doing.
Yeah.
Is that they're the same like gameplay in the sense of like it's the same stuff you love, but like the
Yeah.
actual like story feels really different. Even though it's still using some tropes and stuff for sure, it still feels different enough that it makes it very unique compared to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate as a fan of the whole series. Is this the? I think this is the level that's really cool at the end. Let's see.
You know what's great is if this functioned like less like it looks like it's functioning and more like any of the 3D Sonic games. Where it's just like, he's just like speed dashing through everything.
Don't you like the lava?
I do
Random
love the
lava
lava.
pit?
I mean, that's very good. I love the lighting on it too. Gosh, they really nailed lighting on this game.
Ah, yes. It is the level I thought it was.
It's time. Oh, and stay in waterfall. Don't go towards the T-Rex. Man! Man!
So there's 3 V-Rexes in this fight, so it's like
So why is it when he activates this like Kong rage mode, it looks like he's choking? Because he kind of like pounds his chest a little bit and then he moves his hands up to his throat and it goes. Nice.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the actual like banging his chest is great, but yeah, the actual
yeah.
like
He took a little move right afterwards. Looks like when he was banging his chest, he banged a little too hard and had like a really gross burp.
pile of corpses.
Get him! Yeah, get him! Get him, Kong! Activate your superpowers.
Gotcha, bitch.
Nice. I do like how essential that is to the lore of the world. Is
Oh, for sure. Dude, I mean that is if I could say one thing that I really want in Kong 3 or Kong 2,
Two?
whichever way you want to look at it,
Yeah.
is I want whatever he fights in that movie. He's got to do the jaw break. We've been
building it
teased by it
so long.
so much. But yes, I do agree, Cool Man. By the way, yeah, there's actually plenty of kaiju-ish things in Gears of War.
Yeah.
I could be convinced to at least do a playthrough of it, not necessarily for an episode of the podcast, but just to like, kind of like I did Metroid, just play through it all at some point.
Yeah.
Not right now, but later. Oh yeah, so okay. So I have some thoughts about. Well, I know you want to go get some water, so I'm going to pause for a second while you do that. Well, before you do that.
Oh.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you go get your water, then we'll come back, and then I want to start the conversation that I wanted to start. So you go first.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, while Rob is gone, real quick, I will answer Cool Man's thing from a while ago. As far as Godzilla 3 is concerned, I haven't actually really thought of like a story for Godzilla 3. I just know what monsters I want to see, at some point. So I think one of the things that I would really like to see with Godzilla 3 is kind of definitely a setting up whatever they're gonna do. I think that like Kong 3/2, whatever, Hollow Earth stuff for sure. Really focus in on that, and then I think for Godzilla 3, I think I want Godzilla to kind of be the one that's like driving the MonsterVerse plot forward. Godzilla's definitely in a strange place as far as what the humans think of him now. So I think that would be really interesting to dive into. Is like, okay, well, we had a villain, quote unquote, Godzilla. So going into like the idea of like how does that work nowadays? Or, like now that we know he's not necessarily a villain, but we definitely had he definitely went on a destructive rampage through Hong Kong and really did a number on that city. So I do wonder like how they could play with that. Maybe making Godzilla still, really I guess really reinforcing the Godzilla as a anti-hero is what I want. I don't want them to go hero with him. I think I would like to see them go um stay anti-hero, stay very like, Godzilla is here to do what he's here to do, and that's it. Like he's going to go after the other monster. He's just going to go um yeah, exactly. Like we have the monster versus a place of mystery right now for sure. And are the other Titans awake now since Mechagodzilla's gone? No. See, that's the thing. It's actually the opposite. Um, they would actually be still sleeping because that was what Godzilla was doing in Godzilla Dominion, was going around and putting all the other Titans back in their place because there's not enough food for all these radiation eating Titans on the surface world. Now you definitely could do something interesting where the like you have the military or monarch trying to move the monsters into the Hollow Earth, and that being what spawns what's next. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, for monsters, I've said it again, I've said it a million times. I would love to see some sort of Gigan, even though that's very very far fetched. Like I would love to see some sort of adaptation of Gigan. I would love to see some sort of obviously Biolante is number one for me. But honestly, the one that actually is like stuck in my brain now is Space Godzilla, because of the mural that was cut from the final film, but it's everywhere, and I've shared it on Discord. The mural showing this like winged blue Godzilla fighting both Godzillas and Kongs. I think it would be really interesting to that be the next villain. As much as I know everybody's like, oh, I want Destroya or whatever, I think Space Godzilla is actually going to be the one that's going to be the big next team up film because I think that's going to tie into the Kong Godzilla war, which is really interesting to me that the idea of Kongs and Godzilla species fighting each other, like, not like it wasn't actually what everybody says it is. Like the lore has been lost, and in point in fact, it was actually the Godzilla species and the Kong species teaming up against this Godzilla-like being from space. Like that to me sounds really interesting for a team up film. Like that sounds awesome. That sounds like a really cool idea. Um, I think a MonsterVerse Space Godzilla could look really cool too, like taking our Godzilla and kind of tweaking it and changing it and adding like, the crystallenness to it. Like I've seen so much fan art of a MonsterVerse Space Godzilla. I think that would be, yeah, like you said, like we're all saying, I think that would be the big event film, and I think it would work out really really well. Um, but yeah, for Kong 3, I mean, we've talked about it in the chat, but exploring, Kong's race and maybe finding some others would be interesting. I don't want them to necessarily be the villain thing. I know like we hypothesized like giving the Kongs like armor and stuff. I don't want to go that far. But I wouldn't mind seeing like these tribes of like another tribe of Kongs. Especially to give us our titular Son of Kong, if that is the route they're going. That could be really fun. Having
Nice.
like an albino like outsider Kong be the Kong that be the ape that Kong adopts as his son could be really interesting. I think. Um, yeah, Rob, I'm just speculating on the MonsterVerse.
Oh yeah. It just came
um,
back.
I do think that like I honestly think really what I would like to see both Godzilla and Kong get their sons in this next phase, because I would like to see both Kong and Godzilla die against Space Godzilla maybe. and then have the
Big.
sons take over from there. Because it would be interesting to use a younger Godzilla and a younger Kong, one that's they're both kind of fresh.
Yeah.
I think that would be very interesting going forward, especially throwing them against something like, like the movie where they have to take after their dads is Space Godzilla. Fighting Space Godzilla would be very interesting to see, like a young Godzilla species and a young Kong. It would also give you a good opportunity for Godzilla specifically to kind of do something different with his design. Like if they wanted to do a slight redesign of the creature, that would work out really really well if they did a Son of Godzilla. Um, but as it stands, like for the main Godzilla, I don't want them to change anything because I think, maybe slightly make his head bigger. I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but I know a lot of people hate that his head is so small. So, um,
Make his head too big, worryingly big.
yeah, just like giant. Just
Real
go the
trick.
other direction.
Yeah. A very top heavy Godzilla would be probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Younger Godzilla and Kong would raise the stakes. Absolutely. That's another good
Yeah.
reason. It's like they would be, they wouldn't be as strong as their parents. So you could have, if you wanted to, do some more films with Godzilla, like having a younger Godzilla that's not as resilient could be interesting fighting something like Gigan, like we mentioned before. So that could be fun. What I wanted to talk about though, while I'm restarting the game, as Hayes is,
Hold on, Mr.
dying.
Forget about me.
oh no! Oh no!
Oh, 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 that was good.
The Hayes Muppets started to power down. They finally had to retire the Chuck E. Cheese doll of Hayes. Damn.
That was good.
Um,
Jimmy, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I got this. I can go fight a raptor myself.
Fine, I can do this. I'm tough. I can handle it. Please. He's got to avenge Hayes.
Ah! I really thought that raptor was dead.
I got some grade A spice water here.
Spice
and by that I mean ginger beer.
Oh yeah. So what I wanted to talk about. So as I told you, I have watched 4 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. Well, almost 4. 3 and like 3/4 because I had to stop because it was time to record. Yeah, the live action show. I've watched all of the original Cowboy. that was, that's a different story.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give my opinion on it. I mean, okay. And once again, I'm not done. It's a 10 episode first season, so I'm still fairly early on. I will say the one thing that they really managed to capture is the characters. Feel very much like the characters from the anime. Like their interactions with each other, like Jet and Spike have such a good like rapport with each other. Like it's fantastic. They're always joking about like old bounties that they caught back in the day. Like
Yeah.
like there was a joke just now about calling Faye the cosmonaut, and I'm so curious what that bounty was, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I do kind of wish they were going more in the direction of like, what if we set this in between episodes of the original show?
Yeah.
How heavily does it rely on narratives and scripts directly
So-
from the cartoon?
More than you probably think, but less than you actually think at the same time. So it basically, it's basically doing kind of like, this is a weird thing to relate it to, but it actually works really well. So,
Yeah.
you haven't watched had a chance to watch the Digimon reboot, but it feels very similar to that, to like a reboot of the anime in the sense of like it's telling similar stories. Like they're definitely still like right now it's the Ganymede sea rat crew or
Yes.
whatever. You know which episode I'm talking
Just
about, right?
rewatched that one like the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what episode I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's that, and so it's like definitely keeping the sea rat, and it's definitely keeping like their motives are the same, and it's definitely like their mom is still the one
Yeah.
that's running it and stuff like that. But they are changing it a little bit. Like they did make it so that
Are they trying to turn? Do they have a retrovirus that turns people into monkeys?
No, it's
still?
actually, dude, it's even creepier.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, so what they did is they took what they're fighting against is they're fighting against basically oh, what's the word? What's the word for when you're trying to make a planet breathable?
Terraforming.
Terraforming, yes. So it's like the terraforming gas that this company is using killed like the animals that were on the planet, and so that's what they're fighting against is the planet that they are saying like, oh, we gotta save the sea rats, the Ganymede sea rats. Like, it's not that they've got to save them; it's that they were wiped out by this corporation when they tried to terraform that planet. And so they what they did is they had it like they released the terraforming gas,
Yeah.
and it literally turned people into trees. Like,
Oh.
but like in like a really like gross like like roots popping out of their flesh and like
Yeah. Like
it was super
like,
gross. Like super good, but super gross.
uh,
Like
uh,
it would definitely
like
be an episode that I would not suggest Rob watch right now
Fair.
with how you're
It's like
feeling
the-
still.
it's like the Captain Planet sketch.
Yes, except violent.
Tree.
Except a little bit more violent. But yeah, there's some face gore there for sure. That's why I said maybe not for Rob right now. But
There. Okay, I might.
I mean, like
Wait.
literally the tree root like comes through her face, like the person's face
Oh.
as she's transforming. Yeah, so
okay.
not great for Rob.
Tree.
But yeah, so once again, so it's not retelling the story per se. I mean, it is. Like, once again, it's like the same stuff is happening, but it's not the exact same way. So it
Yeah.
keeps it still a little interesting because, like, even if you're a huge fan of the show, like, you can tell, like, there's like
They're doing
differences,
different
like it's not going to be the
little-
same.
Okay.
And so like,
I mean, I'm interested, if only for the fact that, like, I think the cast looks great. They got
what?
The cast looks really
oh,
good.
the
And
cast is
set
it's so
design-
good.
The set
cast
design
is
is
fantastic.
just immaculate. I love
Oh,
all
it's-
the detail, you know?
Yeah, the bebop is perfect.
It could have literally just been, there could have been no action. It could have just been a talking show. Would have been fine with that. Just them sitting around and being them, you know? That's all I want.
Jimmy, are
I'm
you gonna?
crafting an elaborate headcanon where Spike is still alive, definitely for sure. 'Cause I need to win, right, you know?
Yeah.
You
Jimmy,
know,
are you gonna?
so okay, he walks down the stairs, right? And you'll notice that his left eye is closed, right? And throughout the entire series, the left eye was his natural eye, and his right eye was the mechanical eye. And anytime he's having a flashback to Julia, it zooms in on his left eye. So during his fight with Vicious, his left eye is damaged or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and so the star fading. That's the self of him that lived in the past, you know, because like they're like, oh, every warrior has a star, you know, and so like yeah, obviously, and the star that died was his past life, and now he's gonna live happily ever after, and that's what I need. I don't know if you saw or read any of those interviews ever where Shinichiro Watanabe was like, oh yeah, maybe he was just sleeping. I don't know. I wanted to leave it up to interpretation. I don't care. It's like,
Oh, god damn it.
Don't
We're
do
gonna have to
that, man.
fucking reload this again.
well, wait, what's supposed to happen?
Jimmy is supposed to go to the fucking plane.
You go poke Jimmy?
I can try.
He's just up there, just hanging
He's just
out.
fucking standing there.
I'm scared. Well, maybe you need to kill that other bird.
Yeah, there's one bird left.
Oops. I hear clicking and clacking. Is that on my end?
I don't hear anything.
Four magazines.
Yeah,
on
it was
deck.
red. Yeah, I heard it over my mic, and I was like, wait, what? Oh. I took
God
Red
damn
on
it.
a very, very long walk today. This is the first time Red
Jimmy.
has ever refused. What?
Jimmy,
Howdy,
move.
partner.
Jimmy,
No.
Jimmy, move.
I'm scared. I'm scared of all those monsters. I don't want to move anywhere.
He's stuck in the floor. He's
Help!
his
Help!
feet
My
are
legs,
stuck in the floor.
help! My legs are fused with the stone.
God damn it.
I'm one with Skull Island. Help me! Help!
So yeah, back to Cowboy Bebop. So I really
Oh,
like I want to really like point out like it's very much like I said it's kind of like an alternate retelling of the show. But like I said, I really think that they nailed the characters and the actors are fantastic in their roles. And I know a lot of people were upset about Faye for incredibly sexist reasons, but
outfit not being exposy enough.
yeah. Oh, her boobs are too small. Like, give me a fucking
Oh,
break. Yeah.
She did perfectly capture the character in her response, though.
Oh
And I
yeah, for
was
sure.
like, wow, way to go, nerds! You just accidentally proved that this is the perfect live-action Faye.
Right. I know it's not what you were trying to do, but it's what you did. So.
That's okay. I got enough magazines.
Being attacked? Yes, I'm being attacked.
Oh yeah. Wait, no. Oh, that's right. I took it down for the bit. What did I put as that?
What'd you do?
Nothing. During the, I looked over at my wall of posters and I noticed that one was missing, and I was like, wait a minute, not posters, of pictures. And I was like, wait, where did I put that? And then I remembered, oh, I used it as a prop for the Clifford episode. And then I was like, all right, Cameron, go ahead and explain what a dog looks like to me.
Oh yeah.
He's like, well, imagine a mountain lion. And I grabbed a random photo and I was like, well, it's a good thing I keep one right next to me. And I started waving it into the mic. I don't even know if that picked up audio-wise.
No, I don't think it did. I do remember the bit though. It's a very good bit. But
So fun.
but yeah. So okay. So it's an alternate retelling. The only thing I really have to complain about so far
Yeah.
is a singular character, which I do think they did wrong. Actually, I guess it's two characters, but mainly maybe one. Mainly one that I don't agree with their decision.
Yeah.
So they're showing a lot of Vicious's side of the story, like they're cutting to Vicious and stuff like that, which isn't
Okay.
inherently bad. But what is bad is that, oh, fuck.
Uh-oh. Wow, you, Jack, you just got your eye bit now. You got half your head
You
ripped
okay,
off.
Jack? No, no. I'm
Jeez
not.
Louise. Jack, are you feeling okay? You're bleeding a lot. You're bleeding all over the place. Is that normal,
so-
Jack?
In turn, like going and doing Vicious a lot more,
Yeah.
unfortunately, kind of just points out that he's not really, or this version of Vicious is not a very good
Yeah.
villain. Like he's just not written well.
Vicious worked so well because he was just this impending nightmarish force. You know, vicious. Vicious evil, you know?
Yeah.
God.
100%.
5 magazines on backup. 5 magazines on
No,
backup.
100%. You're right. Like, and that's something that I definitely think they lost.
Yeah.
With bringing Vicious in, and I don't. Okay, so it has been a while since I've actually watched.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
The anime?
Not yeah, like not just the anime, but just like even like trying to. Oh man, it was glitched real bad because Inglehorn wasn't even in the pilot seat when we were playing it a second ago.
Oh, maybe he died. Englehorn died, and then Jimmy just like became fused with the soil. What we don't know is that Skull Island is actually the swamp of sadness, and if you lose hope, you sink into the ground like a horse.
But yeah, okay, so
Oh.
so using Vicious and not writing him very well kind of really hurts the villain side of the story in the sense of like like Spike's rivalry with him feels a little less intense, I guess is the word I would use.
Yeah.
So far it's kind of like definitely the weakest part of the live action. Like everything with Spike and them just
Yeah.
randomly, doing bounty hunts and everything like that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's really good. But just all the stuff that they're adding with Vicious, because Vicious is married. Okay, in the original, correct me if I'm wrong, but Vicious was not actually married to, uh, what's her name?
Julia?
Julia.
They were sleeping together? There's
Yeah,
one flashback. Okay. Here's one thing. Julia and Vicious's story is not super fleshed out in
in
the
the
anime.
original. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like it's never the focus. So like you know that there's a lot of stuff that happens, but really you only get like weird flashes of like Spike's time. And there's one flash where you see Vicious in bed with Julia, so it's kind of like implied that like he was hooking up with her or started hooking up with her after Spike got a crush on her, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that also boils down to accepting this as a different version of the story and not trying to really remake the story. It's, trying to kind of do its own thing while being pretty accurate to most of the other things. It's like staying accurate to the characters, or at least the heroes, which is good, which is fine. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But like then it comes to like some other things where it's just taking some liberties, and it's like,
I mean, yeah. Like Eric just said, like the original story was just about a bunch of like essentially losers in space that were just kind of bad at what they did, like hyper competent, but regularly on the like they were down bad.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, to defend the show, that is very much still Spike and Jet and
Perfect.
and Faye. Like that is still very much their story. Like they are very
Awesome.
much just like jackasses in space. Like, and that's exactly what it should be. So,
Perfect.
to a certain extent, they nailed it with the main characters. So you can
Yeah.
almost forgive some of the Vicious stuff just because, like we've been saying,
It's just
he really had
they're-
nothing in the original.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like they saw a weakness, and like that's the thing, the chance that you get, right? Whenever you're remaking a property or you're remaking a story, you have like, kind of an obligation to see like, okay, where were the holes the first time we did this? What can we flesh out? What can we improve? At the very least, they were trying to take that risk of like, okay, well, let's flesh out, Vicious story, let's flesh out Julia's story, because like there is a Julia-shaped hole in Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah.
it's clear that she matters a lot to Spike, but we don't ever like spend time with her other than like episode where she dies, like she shows up, she's like cool and sultry, and then like in the flashbacks she's like wearing like a smock and like an apron, so it's like she works like a bakery or something, and it's like also she's just as like hyper competent and cool as Spike. So it's like wait, what is Julia? Who is Julia? Other than
What
someone
is
who
Julia?
matters. What am Julia? And I mean, Vicious also has like this really interesting backstory of like, oh yeah, he was on Titan, and like there was a war on Titan, and then he joined the Syndicate, and him and Spike were good friends, and Spike trained him to be a super good killer.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
Spike didn't want to be a killer anymore.
Nope,
So I mean,
shit.
there's a lot in like Spike's story that they don't flesh out that you have room to, if you're doing like an adaptation, to flesh out.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a shame that that's falling a little flat. But I mean, admittedly, I haven't watched it, so. But I'm trusting your opinion.
And to be fair, I once again, I'm not even halfway through the first season. Like there's actually a lot that could still happen that could change my opinion. And I mean, like, the Julia stuff is also doesn't really have a payoff till the very end of the show, really, because she has no idea that Spike is still alive at this point. So
Yeah.
So there's a lot still there. Like, and her marriage with Vicious is not a happy marriage. Like he fucking like chokes her out like the first
Oh,
like
jeez.
like the first real scene that we get with them as a couple. Like yeah. Also the syndicate like orders him to kill her. So like there's like it's very much like not healthy.
Does his wig look as bad in the show as it did in the commercials?
It's not a wig. It is his actual
Oh.
hair. It's just dyed white.
Died and it's really.
Yeah. And yes, it
Oh.
does look just as bad. I'm not gonna
Reacts poorly.
not
to,
gonna
like,
excuse them from that one, unfortunately. It looks really bad.
oh, that's. I mean, God, I'm so sorry to that actor. He grew
Yeah.
out his nose for this. It's like, all right, go ahead and bleach the heck out of my hair, and then, oh no.
So one of the things
It's
that's
like-
really cool, by the way, about the little baby V-Rex, I forgot to mention it because we didn't get a good look at it last time, is he's not proportioned like a T-Rex. Like he's not proportioned like the adults. Like he's got big old feet.
Yeah.
He's got a little tiny
Yeah.
head.
Well,
His
puppy.
arms are longer. So it's pretty cool that they created like a separate like skeleton for the V-Rex to make the little baby.
Yeah. Fun. He's
It's,
having a real time of things. I never actually watched Space Dandy. I watched like episode 1 and 2 of it, and I was like, this is a little bit not what I was hoping for, because I was like, oh, the guy who made Cowboy Bebop.
It's a
'Cause it
little
was
much.
And so I was like, I was like, whoa, and then it's like, kind of like I don't know, like a show of the week. Like there's not like anything that really landed with me. Maybe if I kept watching it would. But then Samurai Champloo was just like so good.
Sure.
And then
Well,
I
those are
didn't
different eras, though. To be fair, Space Dandy was more recent.
Yeah, but I mean like, so it was just like Bebop, Champloo, amazing.
Oh, excuse me.
And then did Kids on a Slope, which starts off really good, and then the ending feels turbo rushed. Didn't really like it that much. And then I love the first season of Carol and Tuesday to pieces, and then the second season felt like it had so much to say and had no idea how to say it, and also didn't want
Ow.
Carol and Tuesday to be the main characters.
fuck?
Oh. Jack, are you all right? Jack,
Spiders.
Jack, you're covered in spiders, Jack.
Where the fuck is the food that I'm supposed to use to scrap? Oh, they're there.
Yeah, I was let down by season 2. Carol and Tuesday. Yeah, I was talking about the Spider-Man trailer, and then before I mean the spoilers, but yeah, we talked about it probably.
No, we didn't.
Just like that, to say it. My favorite thing was that they kept in the goofy necked lizard there. That was good.
Oh yeah, the lizard getting hit by clearly Spider-Man or Venom or somebody. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow in the After Dark. I think that's a good After Dark conversation.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
I
admit
know
that
it'll just be you and me, but
Yeah, the ending of Carol and Tuesday, the very last episode was fine. But yeah, I would have preferred them stretching out season 2 into a season 2 and 3, and like really build up the fact that this kind of like rise of like space fascism and like what it's doing. Because like again, the message felt like good. I love what they were doing. I wish that it felt a little bit more like complete. Nice, good punch.
Big O was amazing until it wasn't. Yep. That's a good description of that show.
Do you guys ever find yourself thinking about that last episode and being like, so?
Some could say
Have you
that about the Evangelion series too. Ooh, zing!
Hey,
Sorry.
I can at least understand Evangelion. I can
Oh no, I'm
piece
talking
to-
as a whole, man. I'm talking like
Oh,
movies and all.
yeah. Fair, okay. like that's my problem with Big O is it's like there's like enough like okay, first off, love the general concept of the negotiator is also a guy who pilots big robot. Batman plus mecha, perfect combination. Love to see it. Robot girlfriend, super cute. You love to see that too. Uh, Big tough butler with big guns. Love it. Can't wait to see more of it. All the robot fights, really fun. Love the way he piloted the robot. But then it felt like they didn't expect to get season 2, and when season 2 started, they were just kind of like, well, we've got to add like a weird mystery to the world outside of everyone has amnesia, And we've got to explain the amnesia. And the second they started trying to explain it, they had to be like, there's weird. There was a whole Clone War. And we made a million Roger Smith, the negotiators, and they all piloted big O's and big trios and big duos, and then they all died, and somehow you also are a clone, and then also in general this time period is fake, and it's a staged thing, and it's either in a computer or someone outside of all of this has control over it. But
Isn't
we
there
don't
one
really...
episode of Big O where he fights an actual kaiju? Like he fights a monster
Yeah,
instead of a robot?
Leviathan.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones we might cover for Mecha Month for February.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a Signals episode for sure.
Oh yeah. So sorry, for Signals it'll be that or an episode of Megas XLR. Those are the two.
Well, I mean Megas has several episodes where they fight kaiju.
Megas does have several, but there's one that's like it's kind of like a Godzilla knockoff, which I was.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that one's a real good one too. I remember that episode.
That big old orange guy. Yeah, Big O, man. I don't know. I want to love it, and I remember at the end of it being like, kind of like, wow. And then like it doesn't have any staying power. It like doesn't stick to people like Evangelion does. And I think Evangelion had like something to say. Big O did not have anything to say. It just had a weird mystery, and then it just said, make of what you will. And then they turned off the TV and they walked away.
Oh, so yeah, so I'm in his lair, which is really cool because, just like in the extended cut, you get to see like the Kong. Well, yeah, he's passed out. But do you see this Kong skulls and everything? Like, look at all the big ass like.
Yeah.
Remember, because that was in the extended cut of PJKK, and
Yeah.
you guys didn't get to see it, but I put it on when I came over, and I was like, oh man, you guys didn't get to see that, did you? Oh, look at this lighting.
Just blast him right in the eye. Just.
But it's so good though. For early 360, oh man. Man, shut up. Ann, get your ass down here. Come on. Help me get out of this water. It's so gross. It's filled with bones. It's a bone soup. We gotta go.
Ann, please help me.
Oh god.
Uh-oh. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ah, jeez.
Fight in the lair.
Is this going to be a reference to the like
The original.
the giant snake one? Yeah. Or not the inside the
Yeah,
water.
so I mean, they're the eels from the
Yeah.
extended cut, but yeah, they did it in the game. They made it like a giant reference to the 33 Kong, which is
that's fun.
very good. Also shows off their physics engine. Get him! Ooh. Best part, I get to swing around its corpse.
Yeah. And I do a floss dance with it.
You know, there's little ones on me. sense because you can't see them until they're like on you.
They're
This
mountains.
fight's really easy.
Uh-oh, he's on a tree. He can fly.
Oh, I almost had it.
Oh, jeez. Maybe you're all right. Maybe you're okay. Ooh. Stay away from me. Oh, you're okay now. You're fine. Some of the shoulder check animations are extremely funny. Yeah. Ooh, got him.
Ah. Well, there was a river up at the top of the mountain, but
He's in your head.
once again, the only reason why the eels are here is to make the reference to the 33 level.
Nice. Good throw. It's just mountains,
Yeah,
man.
mountain eels. Biggest
It's
threat
really-
of them all.
There's nothing sadder than like ever googling if like a favorite food of yours is sustainable. It's like
Oh,
sometimes
God.
you'll think like maybe this is okay. I mean, surely like eels aren't like a endangered thing. Like no one gets that much unagi.
Oh, I forgot I-
Turns out I'm a monster and I've just wrecked the populace of eels. Freshwater eels.
Well, they're not sustainable, but, well, I mean, freshwater eels specifically, I mean, in Japan, there's like farms to raise them and stuff like that. Just like we raise like a lot of fish on farms here in the States.
That's true. Listen, I'll raise my own. Free. These episode titles are so fun.
You know, the
I-
free section of the island.
Oh, I love to imagine they're all little tiny, like on a map. There's little tiny, like diagrams, of, like the sections, like states.
I don't know if this is a good idea, Ann.
Well, it worked out fine. Well, I'm gonna move this water out of the way because I get the sense White Circle's about to jump up here. Yep.
That sounds about right.
Okay, hey baby girl.
Not leaving.
Oh,
Coming to get me.
wow, I'm so glad we're on this raft together. I have been wearing this dress for like 5 days.
There's no way that dress would not be torn with how thin of a material it is.
I love that she's a fanny pack though. It's very useful. Hey, Pop. One thing that I like about my mixer is it's got like a high pass filter, so pot stickers, little tiny meows probably aren't going to show up on the mic.
Oh, I miss pot stickers meows though. Oh Jesus Christ! Hi Con. How's it going?
Ooh, he's mad. He's mad. Oh no. Oh. Whoa.
Chased by Kong.
Oh.
Yeah, Rob. Okay, I have a question for you actually before I talk about this next
Me?
topic.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on Ghostbusters? Like Ghostbusters 1 and 2? Like what are your thoughts on both of them?
I mean, when I first watched them as a kid, I just liked them because they were funny, like, movies with good action. You know, as like, an adult, like I'm definitely able to see that like Ghostbusters 1 has more like spirit and character to it,
Yes.
as like a weird raunchy comedy with the aesthetic coating of a horror movie,
Yes.
with like good creature effects and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a comedy. It's a goofy movie with like It's like if you took comedy writers and then let them run around on a horror movie set, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes
And
it work.
what the fuck?
She just ran.
She
she's
just
like,
ran
"How
straight into its mouth.
at these little dinosaurs. I wonder if I can just walk up there and say hi to them."
Ah!
Run away.
Oh god!
Let's go faster. Ooh. Oh, ow, owie, ooh, 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 ooh.
And can we not? Can we just fucking not do that this time, please? Let them fight each other. Leave them.
Here I
The fucking
go.
Worst.
Here I go running again. You know me. I love that you just threw your spear in anger. Dang it, come on. Just let them duke it out. Aw, dang. Well,
We already killed him, yeah. I need one of the birds.
is that a portal up there? That
Oh,
weird
it's
glow?
no, it's a
Oh,
torch
it's
up there.
fire and okay, I was about to be like, what? There's magic on this stuff.
Damn it.
Hey, have you?
Bird
What
didn't
have
fall in the
you?
right spot.
What do you make of the BBC article that came out yesterday that was like, Queen is entering a new phase. and will
Oh
be
yeah.
in February.
I mean,
Uh,
I love the memes, for sure. I will say it that way.
What a
The memes?
strange, what a strange way to refer to a person's like health, regardless of the situation. Ooh,
Oops.
all that. I just, I'm wondering.
Yeah, it was wild.
It's a very strange way to refer to a person's like a real person's health. Entering a new phase. What do you mean by that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Aw, he's looking for us. It's a good thing he's very blind.
But no, okay. So the reason why I asked about Ghostbusters is because,
yeah.
you know, the new movie came out. I watched it. I really, really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
thought that it was a very good. I mean, number one, completely erases the bad taste of 2016 for sure. It's
Okay.
gone. Like this is very much what 2016 should have been. Absolutely. And also, not just that, but like the you know the one thing you could definitely argue about this movie is it's very much okay. Here's the thing, it is very much the Ghostbusters sequel that Ivan Reitman and Harold Ramis wanted to make for the longest time. It's the sequel that we've actually read about a lot since Ghostbusters 2. Like it's been one of the,
Like,
it's the
Ghostbusters
story
the
that they wanted to tell. And then
Are you talking about the original idea for Ghostbusters 3, which was like Ghostbusters in Hell or whatever?
no, not that. Well, no, not that. But I'm talking about. I guess it's not since Ghostbusters 2, but the more recent, like where I can't really say much without spoiling it. But it's very
Yeah.
much like a sequel to Ghostbusters 1. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like
Okay.
it is. I mean, it's not. It doesn't ignore Ghostbusters 2, but it treats Ghostbusters 2 kind of the same way that Jurassic World treats Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, where it's like they still have it still happened, but we're not gonna like keep the
We just
tone
don't
from
like,
that.
we
or
don't talk
anything
about
like
it. Okay.
that. Yeah.
So would you say that it feels because like the first one, I think related to a very specific like vibe, and the vibe seems like very kid friendly, you know.
No, it's not kid friendly at all.
Oh.
No,
Like,
yeah,
'cause
that's
it
a
made
big
look
misconception
as
for
a,
sure.
like they were trying to capture the vibe of like Stranger Things. And
Oh, I
thought
mean,
that
for
was
sure
weird.
they are, but not in a bad way, I guess. I like, because Stranger
Okay.
Things really isn't for kids either, you know. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like a Goonies situation, but it's not really made for kids. I don't know if I'd ever describe that, you know.
That's fair.
But I think me and Barbecue Nerd disagree on it. We actually talked about it because I was very curious what he thought because he was like very adamant against it, and I was like, what did you like? And I mean, me and Barbecue Nerd usually don't agree on our likes of movies, so I wasn't surprised that the things that he didn't like, I actually really liked. But I mean, once again, if you need to know going into the movie that this is very much a a Jurassic World, a like it's one of those spiritual sequels that has a lot of plot elements that are similar to the older film, but it's
Yeah.
done on purpose and it's done with a purpose. So you have to kind of take it at that face value of like it it knows what it's trying to do. It's not trying to be anything else.
Yeah.
And I think it does it very well. I honestly think that there's several moments. Oh God, I'm in. I'm in the fire. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh no, I wasn't supposed to move that fast. Is it a comedy? It's a comedy in the way that Ghostbusters 1 was a comedy, not Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 like went full on comedy, I think. For better or worse. I enjoy Ghostbusters 2 for what it is, but like
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 1 is a little bit more of a nuanced comedy, if that makes any sense. And I think this one follows that same. Are you gonna throw your torches or?
No.
Like last time you killed me with your torches, or?
No, well, we just want to hold on for the time. Oh, never mind. We're gonna kill you this time. We want to kill you.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely a comedy. Like the kids are all very good. Honestly, of all the characters, the main character girl is phenomenal. I've seen her in other things, but she is so good at playing. Like, I guess it's not really spoilers because it's in all the trailers, but she's Egon's granddaughter.
Yeah.
So she
But,
does
yeah,
a good job of channeling that same like scientist spirit that Egon had.
Oh, okay. Is
While being
mom
her own
Janine?
character.
Do they ever clarify that? Because that's
What?
important. Janine.
No, they don't actually clarify it. They
What?
do in the sense that hold on. They do in the sense that like she is not the mom of, or I guess she's not their grandmother. Like that's not
Okay.
a thing. Definitely not.
Wow.
But her and Egon did have a thing. They do confirm that.
Okay.
I won't say how they do it, but I will say there is a deleted scene from Ghostbusters 1 that they actually implement into this movie, which is very, very cool.
That's
Yeah, it's very sweet. Like the end of this movie is definitely one of those like, especially if you're a big fan of the Ghostbusters series, there's definitely some tearjerker moments towards the end for sure.
okay.
In the best, in a good way, right? I'm not,
I was just Google searching to see if maybe it was streaming anywhere. And
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, it's in theaters only. So
looks like
you'll have to wait.
Sneak is in agreement with something called Stars First. So yeah. So
but yeah,
it should
I
be
honestly, if
available
you
there in 9 months. Wow. Okay, so just go watch it.
just go watch it, yeah. But in my opinion, like I said, I think it's a very good Ghostbuster sequel. I would say the only Ghostbuster thing that I would even put it up against if I was trying to like say like, oh, like which is better. Like I would have a hard time deciding which is better, the game, which has all the Ghostbusters come back and it's written by the original writer and all the voice acting is really, really good. That is a very good Ghostbusters sequel, but I do think this one is very strong as well. And I think, once again, I think you really have to know what you're getting into. Like it is that Force Awakens kind of, Jurassic World, Force Awakens, whichever one you want to use as the example. It is definitively that for sure. It is most definitely using your nostalgia of the originals, but I think this movie does it like in the Jurassic World way, where it's a little smart with it sometimes. Where like, let me think. I'm trying to think of like a good point that's not a spoiler that I could say. Oh yeah, easy. So there's a point where, without spoiling exactly what you see, you go to Egon's lab, at the farm, and there's a couple of things in there that made me audibly go like, some things never change, like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, of course this is the way it looks. Like, of course this is what's in his lab. That just makes so much sense. And that stuff is just like very good, and it's very prominent for sure. Do they set up a sequel? Yes, they do, and in a very interesting way that I can't spoil. the after credit scene, number one is
Oh, there's an after credit scene.
there's a
Okay.
mid credit scene and an after credit scene. Mid credit
Oh.
scene is hilarious. After credit scenes start like leaves it open for what they could do next. And I'm excited for the both of them because the mid credit scene was phenomenal. I can't.
Okay.
And once again, it's just like it's so spoilery. I can't I can't give you too many hints without really like
Yeah.
telling you exactly what happens.
I know what
But
I'm gonna
it's
do.
just it's
Come on,
very.
Jack.
It's the Ghostbusters sequel, like I said, that they've been talking about for a while. It's what they originally wanted to do before the 2016 movie came back into play. You know, like I said, the original Ghostbusters stuff is canon, which means, everything happened, which means that they're not doing the weird, like, Ghostbusters 2016 thing where they had the actors come back as different
Don't
roles for
move
no
from
reason.
there. I'm gonna
Yeah, no,
something to
they
help our
are.
crew.
I will say the Ghostbusters are there. We already saw Dan Aykroyd in a trailer, and their return is very very good and very like
Oh, that's fun.
perfect. Yeah, it's very good in the movie for sure.
Wait, like, does Bill Murray show up?
I won't say.
Oh man. Okay, fair.
Like I said, they do return. That's all I'll say. I won't say how. I won't say when
I could
in the
see
movie.
Dan Aykroyd showing up. I could see Ernie Hudson showing up, and that would be cool and wonderful. I would love that. I can't imagine they're going to get Bill Murray, and I don't think I would expect. You know, what I would love if they got the guy out of retirement,
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. If they got him out of retirement to show up a little bit, I would be like, you don't even need Bill
I-
Murray at that point.
I
I'd be
will
A-okay.
spoil that no, he does not come back. Rick Moranis doesn't come back, unfortunately. Because he is coming back from retirement, but not yet.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, there's a specific movie that he is attached to that he is coming back
Oh.
from specifically for.
that's
I can't
cool.
remember what it is though.
I look forward to that. The last thing I heard of is he got mugged in like New
Yeah,
York, middle
He
of
did get
COVID,
mugged. Yeah, it was
and
not
the
great.
internet was like, "We will find you."
Yeah. Oops. Try to move this way. Calm, this way.
Nope.
Nope.
I
Nope,
love
not
that
the-
like all the villagers are like, what? How? Yep.
So. Oh yeah, no. If you go to IMDb, you will find out that one of the things I was trying to leave hidden from Mom was true. So. But Rick Moranis is not, like I said, Rick Moranis is not in the movie.
That's so sad. Well,
I really don't know what Rick Moranis was what movie he's coming back for though, because there is a specific thing that he is.
I'm gonna Google search him. I won't Google search Ghostbusters or
Yeah,
Bill Murray.
I mean, because like if you're thinking of even planning on going seeing it, just go see it. You know what I mean?
Okay, Rick Moranis. Let's see if he's got an IMDb going on here. The latest news about him is him being mugged. Okay, that's
Oh,
not.
wow.
Come on now.
Is there anything
Oh
that says
yeah,
where he's coming
wait.
back?
Yeah. I thought Eric was joking. Shrunk. A sequel to. Oh, it's a reboot. Oh, he probably just plays. It's like a cameo or something. Okay. Well,
What is it? Is it a?
Well,
Is it to
a
what you call it?
reboot. No, it's Shrunk. A reboot of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh. Yeah, he's
His
probably
first-
just in there for a second or something.
Yeah. He'll
That's the
just
case.
be, you know, a guy that shows up for a bit. Well, that's dang. What a bummer. He's going to be a cameo, and that's his retirement or his coming out of retirement.
Return from retirement. Yeah.
Dang. Eric, I'm not shitposting. IMDb confirmed. Well,
Well, he's trying to. He was commenting on the casting of who's showing up in Ghostbusters. I think.
Oh no, I thought he was because he.
Oh,
said,
you might be talking about Rick Moranis.
Heard where nothing but trouble, and then he said Shrunk, a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "There's no way. That's got to be a bit." And then I clicked away before I read his final message, which was, "No, I promise I'm not messing with you. Let's get going. Hurry!" Wow, it's good that Kong listens to her and is just there to support her, but also wants her as a captive.
Yeah, this level's kind of interesting because it's like you're destroying the village, very 33 Kong, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very much also like, yeah, Kong is saving her from the villagers again. Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing like what we said with the other level. Like, it's very much repeating itself, kind of, just to give you another level with Kong, pretty
Yeah.
much.
That's fun. It's good. I'm glad there's more Kong, you know? Uh-oh. Ooh, ow, ooh, ow. Here you go.
You need to
Puts her on his back real slowly.
Please, go.
What do you mean?
Ah!
That hurts. Ooh, it hurts real bad. Oh no. There, use the gas ball.
Don't worry, Anne will be fine. The tranquilizer
Anne will
gas
be
won't do
fine.
anything to her, will it?
We're acting with tranquilizer gas that can knock out a giant 3,000-pound gorilla. Anne'll be a-okay. She's on horse tranquilizer. She's on PCP right now. She's just
Yeah, Eric, that's what I've heard too. What Cool Man just said is like, it's the same complaints that Singular Point has been getting since the beginning. It's the
Oh.
people like, oh, it's too much technical babble. I don't understand it. And the general like, Godzilla's the final form of Godzilla is only in there for a few minutes, but
I still stand by my criticism of the technobabble, which is that it's like reverse Star Wars technobabble or Star Trek technobabble, where
well, I think there's a difference between that and also just like being like, oh, I'm too dumb to understand it. Like my brain, like I know your smooth brain sometimes gets in your way, but like the science complaints I've heard from other people are not what you complained about. It's like literally like, what does this mean? And it's like, well, if you paid attention to the goddamn anime, you would know what it meant because they literally spelled it out for you, word for freaking word. Like it's not even the weird like theoretical science stuff. It's like the weird. It's just like, oh, how can Godzilla evolve the way that he does? It's like it literally says
they
it
say
in the movie in the show multiple times.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's reverse like Star Trek, where like they try and explain it in more detail, and I think that might be what's throwing people off. Where it's like, Star Trek, it's like if we charge the interfacial being with a nucleotron positron ray, then we'll be able to reverse his matrix, thus overloading him. And then someone goes, like filling filling a balloon with too much air. And then
See, and here's the thing, Eric. And I agree with what you're saying, Rob, but like what Eric just brought up, I do want to say something about that. Another thing that I think a big G fans are making a mistake with Singular Point is that I do think...
they also skipped the boat scene.
Yes, they did. But Singular Point, it's very much an anime that needs to be watched dubbed, unfortunately, because it is so much science and so much technobabble. I kind of feel the same way about Shin Godzilla, actually, to a certain level, is because all the like on-screen text and stuff like that is like just like very hard to like understand if you're not Japanese speaking. So like all that text comes up really quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel the same way when it comes to Singular Point as well. I think that they needed to. It really should be said. Like if you're confused by the science in Singular Point, you should watch the dub. Like because the dub explains it in English. There's no reading a subtitle. There's no like trying to make sure you read it fast enough or anything like that. Like it's very easily explained. Like yes, there's still the science technical level that Robbie was just talking about. That's like doesn't make any sense. But like it's so much easier to understand. If you're, Dude, also, this level is stupid. I hate it. Not even like, it's just not fun.
Yeah, the free rate is also like, it is.
Oh yeah,
hiccuping like
it is having a
crazy.
hard time in this level for sure. Well, it's got
That's
weather
part of
effects,
it.
Rob.
Yeah, I was going to say the snow effect is like really. We gotta. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And then immediately. Am I wrong? Come on, Vespucci.
So the one good thing about this level specifically is that it is very much 33 Kong, because they didn't know how, they couldn't do the movie because they didn't know how it was going to end, so they had to just basically just do 33 Kong instead of doing PJKK. So as much as you and Cameron were joking last episode of like, I hope the God, where am I going? I'm heading towards the Empire State Building, supposedly.
Where's he going? It looks like he's going directly to the Empire State Building. They're trying to lead
one
you.
of us,
They're
you
like,
mess with all of us.
there's just like they're like waving you on, like this way, over here. Get that Empire State Building. We hate it. Too tall. No. Yeah, get him.
Oh no! Hey! Hey! Ow! 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 Ow!
Ow, 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 ow. There it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Got him. Oh, oh.
come on, grab the car.
He's struggling. Oh, he's having a hard time. Okay, now I gotta do it again. Out of my way. Yeah. Nice. I guess you could have just pushed that out of the way. That would have been a little bit easier, but okay.
Nope, Kong's gotta lift it over his head. He's going towards the Empire State Building!
We gotta stop him. Just love the camera keeps cutting to random footage of the soldiers looking at you as you run past them on the turret. It's like, oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Hold your fire. There's a name out there.
Hey, you want to hang out, girlfriend? You want to go skating on the ice?
I'll take you on a date.
Is that something you'd be into?
Oh, he's just flying. Did you see this shadow?
Yep.
Did you see the shadow? Oh my god. You know how they did that shot? They didn't have him pick her up. They literally just moved the model upward into the air to make it look like he was picking her up. Oh, that's amazing! Oh my god, that's so funny. That's the funniest thing. Oh, that's my favorite moment. Non-stop. That's my favorite moment, without a doubt. Some of the glitches, but that one specifically. Oh my gosh. I want to clip that. I want to just clip that one section. I'm gonna download this stream and just clip that.
Just clip that one section.
Oh my god. Dude. Oh, that's
Playing the
incredible.
sad music, Rob, means it's gonna be sad.
Oh no, I mean I'm sad. I'm sad about poor old man Kong. Last of his kind. Last of his Kong.
Gotcha.
Yeah, got him. Massacre that gorilla. Show no mercy. You mess with one of us, you mess. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. You mess with one of us, you mess with one. So, okay, I know there's an alternate end to this. Is the alternate
Yes.
ending based off of how you do here, or is it something you unlock earlier?
It is a separate thing you unlock.
Okay.
I will have to switch to a different profile because you basically have to play the game twice at least to unlock it. So
Okay.
I'll explain all that when we get there. I'm about to die, so he's not feeling too hot. Oh god. Oh god. There he goes.
Ooh, right up the spine. Ooh. Oh, why'd you make me hurt so bad? Face.
So, goodbye, sweet princess.
Oh wow, they kept all the moving vehicles.
Yeah, the horrible just like lights.
So you never sleep, say. Wow, is there actually a whole? I wonder what happens in this segment. Oh, dang it! Wow, truly, you messed with one of us, and now you messed with all of our hearts, Sleepy Kong.
Hey Jack, you might want to close your mouth. Jack. Ah!
We got Lockjaw on the trip. That's one thing we didn't talk about with Skull Island. There's a lot of rust.
Man, I really gotta say, man, this is the glitchiest this game has ever been.
Oh, you need to come to me. You need to come to me.
Amazing. I love that it had to load a sequence for this. It had a chapter title and everything.
Not only did it have to load the sequence, but the sequence was glitched with
Yes.
Jack Black's mouth not moving. And there's the credits. All right, so
Hey.
we beat it. Okay, so now for some fun stuff. Sure, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna back out, and I'm gonna go to my beaten save file where I have everything.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff. So number one, you can watch the trailer. The trailer for PJKK.
Yeah.
You could watch the credits over again, and then you unlock these. Basically these artwork rooms, which are really freaking cool. So I wanted to show you all of them. Because not only do they have the artwork, like some concept art for not just the game, but also PJKK, but it's set up in this like cool, like games used to do this all the time, and I miss it, where they set it up in like this like place where you can walk around and look at stuff, and like they set up like the models for the monsters, and you can kind of like get a good look at their model and look at all the art on the walls, so on and so forth. There's one of them. Super Mario 64 room. Unfortunately, I can't jump into any of those photos. Okay, so that was one. Let's see. So they also, you unlock some filters. So like you can play the movie with like sepia tone. You can play it in black and white to make it look like the original Kong. And most of them are done by replaying the game and getting a certain score on each level. That unlocks these things. But there are a couple of things, as you saw, one of them that was locked out was an online code that you got from the PJKK website that you could enter in here. But unfortunately, that website is now defunct, and therefore you cannot get the code. And here's a good look at the Raptors. By the way, the main reason why I'm doing this is so we can get use these images for the episode tomorrow for Monster.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, also just to show all the cool stuff that you can unlock. Wish I could run. No sprinting allowed. Let's see. This one is, I think this is the one with the V-Rex in the center. Nope, this one has the sea creature. Kong fighting the three Rexes. That's from the movie.
This
That's
is
concept art for the movie.
cool. I do really like. I love that. Like I think more games should include like something like more interactive for like those fun like unlockables. You know.
Yeah. Look at Old Man Kong's face. The bombs.
Nice.
Very good. Very, very good. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Walking along. Walking along. But yeah, no, games back in the day used to do this all the time. Like where there'd
Yeah.
be like, I mean, a good example is Tomb Raider used to do it all the time, where you could like, when you got back to your house, you could like walk through and there'd be like bears that are just the model of the bear from the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So some more Kongs. Here's the crab people model.
Ah.
More of the Rex fight.
Yeah.
Kong just being monkey.
Monkey.
Back in the original, when Peter Jackson was originally planning it out, he was just gonna do a normal Rex fight. He was just gonna do the one. And then like as he thought about it more, he was just like, what would be better than one Rex? Two Rexes. You know what would be better than two Rexes? Three Rexes. Let's see, moving right along. V-Rex.
Love that.
Yeah,
Very, very,
good.
cool.
New
I
York.
like that. Hey.
Hey, it's New York. All right. So there's only a few things left. I don't think there's any more art rooms.
Yeah.
So up next, so we're not gonna watch these, but oh wait, no, there's a couple more art rooms. So there's a Peter Jackson interview that's pretty much straight from the pre-production diaries for PJKK. Then there's this next art room, which probably has. Let's see, what do we have left? We have the Eels.
Ooh.
See, like, okay, this piece of art describes exactly what I don't necessarily like about PJKK's Kong. Like, that's just a gorilla.
Big monkey.
That's just a gorilla. It's not Kong. That's literally just a
Yeah.
gorilla. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. Now that looks like Kong.
Yeah. I mean, that looks like cover art from 76 Kong, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so there's a little Ely boy. This is a pretty good, famous piece of art right there.
Hi, I'm Jordan from Kettner Create.
What the hell?
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Jordan from Kenner Creates.
So, okay, there is a major problem I need to fix with the mixer. I was like, oh, let me just like do a quick test here with like Audacity, and I started recording, and then like it's recording your audio and my audio, so we need to fix that. I'll need to fix that before tomorrow.
This is the last art room.
And if I can't, then I'll just
This is the
whole-
Kong room.
Yeah.
There's Kong right there.
Nice.
Tis I, Kong.
That was actually the art that I used for the post today. Oh man, it's so good. Look at that. That's fucking great. I will still defend the V-Rex design till my dying breath. Like, I know it's not scientifically accurate, but man, like the crocodile like skin texture is so good on a dinosaur, and I know, like, you know, that's a big problem people are having with Jurassic World Dominion, but I still love it. Am I going to get Halo Infinite? Yes, I am. Not because I'm buying it though, but because I have Game Pass and it is free on Game Pass when it
There you
releases.
go.
And I have Game Pass, so I am gonna play it. It's not gonna look great. It's gonna run horribly because it's on my Xbox One, which is trying to die. But
No.
I will definitely play it. I'm currently almost done with Halo 4 on a playthrough that I started like 4 months ago. So I'm gonna play Halo 5 again for the first time since it came out. But yeah, Infinite, I am excited for it. I'm very concerned on how it's gonna run on the Xbox One. Not even just mine, but the Xbox One in general. Because it's made for the Series X. So, Rob, can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can clear you. You're good.
Okay. I was worried my headphones died again. All right, so now the last and final unlock that you can get by getting a very high score, which, as you notice, I got 600,000 points, so I can unlock it, is the alternative end.
Ooh. Meanwhile, back at the Empire State Building, but this time. Whoa.
Yeah, that was a little dangerous there, Kong.
Ah! Just take him and out. One fell swoop.
The true alternate ending. He just falls off the building.
Oh, whoops! Got him. A massacre. God. It's just this little tiny punch. Ow, my spine. This is it. This is your shot. It's now or never. So far, in the alternate, they just send a few less airplanes at you.
It's about to get real different in a second.
I love the idea of all just dive bombing and chatting. You mess with one of us!
Alright, come on. Come on, game. There we go.
Good. Oh, hey, there you go. In a little seaplane. Oh no, they're trying to shoot at you. They're like, traitor! Shoot him down! Oop, ow.
Plane is not the greatest to control, unfortunately.
Well, they did this for fun.
Yeah. Very much the developers just like, what if we did an alternate ending where Kong survived?
Ooh, ow, ow, ow. It's so slow. Ow, ow, ow. Wow. Jack's going to prison. In this
Yeah?
Ah, dang it. They got the emergency spotlights. Ah. Yay!
We did it!
You did it, Jack. He made it. That
Kong
line is
lives!
that's so funny, especially because it literally looks like they just reversed the footage of him climbing up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here you go, though. Here's the... Look, he's back on his island.
Oh yeah, and I guess we're just gonna go. We can just fly in and check on him from time to time. I'm a war criminal now, Kong. I certainly can't live here anymore.
Guess they went to live on Skull Island.
That is not. Oh no, his engine died.
It's okay. He's just
No!
gliding. It's fine. It's fine.
Uh-oh. Gliding very well.
Oh yeah.
Okay, come on. Start that. What are you doing, bud? You're getting too close. You're getting too close. Pull up.
Pull up! Pull up! Start the engine! Start the engine!
Please. Oh wow! So this end Jack dies. Oh wait, never mind. There you go. They're fine.
So there's your alternate ending.
Well, then the island stinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well. And there we go.
Yay.
We beat PJKK.
The return
so-
of Puka revisited the video.
Puka revisited, kind of, not really. Yeah. So honestly, the game itself, once again, if you're looking at it in the context of video games that are based on movies, this is definitely like top tier. Like, it's got good game design, it's got good like story. That's, it's slightly different than the movie because of course this came out first, and of course they didn't want to spoil it, so it's kind of sticks kind of like it's like a mixture of PJKK and the original 33, like kind of like it kind of plays with like both, which is fine. And then, like, so it's got some good gameplay. It's got some stuff. It is a little repetitive, and that's definitely a negative that I'm going to bring up tomorrow, for sure. Oh, God. It's just going to keep playing that until I at least mute it.
Hurry. Come
There we
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
did
so I'm excited to talk about it in full, but yeah, I mean, it's still pretty fun. It's still a really fun game. It's still like worth it if you can manage to track it down. It's not exactly easy to track it down, but if you can, like, if you're a King Kong fan especially, you're gonna love the game. If you're just a fan of like this era of like movie-based games, which don't exist anymore, sadly, because I kind of miss them. It's worth a shot. It's worth watching. Like our playthrough of it, if you've just stuck around for it, obviously. But
Yeah.
like it's worth like Kong fans getting a look at it if you never have. I Like I said, I think one of the only real complaints I have is the negative, or like the slow kind of nature it takes at times, where it
Yeah.
just kind of like, I don't know, it just repeats the same stuff over and over again. Like,
Well, it's got you've got like there's two types of puzzles you need to solve. One is food puzzle with spiders or fire puzzle with plant.
Yeah.
And the fire puzzles did get pretty interesting because, it's like, oh, well, there's water in the way. So you have to throw a spear and like hit this one little thing over here, which will let you move the fire over. There were a few times where the fire puzzles were interesting,
yes.
but it definitely, for an 8-hour game, eventually, having one, one solution to each of your puzzles gets kind of like,
Hey,
okay,
to be
alright.
fair, I beat this game in 5 hours.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Sorry, I was off for original estimate.
I beat the game in 5 hours. I actually did really good on this playthrough.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry.
But no, and yeah, I 100% agree with Will. Like, I think that this format the game took with like you're playing as a human and then you switch to playing as Kong could really be applied to Godzilla if you did like a really interesting game like that where like half the time it's like kind of like an EDF kind of a game where you're down, you're like controlling tanks and you're like military
Yeah.
dude, and then like yeah, then you get to the final parts of the levels and you get to control Godzilla and fight whatever monster that's coming ashore. Like that would be really fun, I think. I definitely think on the ground it would definitely EDF would be the game to pull from. Maybe not this as much. I think it would work better third person because you get to get the scale and stuff. Um, which I suppose technically, I mean, Rob, you know this because you played a little bit of it. City Shrouded in Shadows is a good example
Yeah.
of that, right? Like where
Yeah. Absolutely.
because it's third person, you get a really good look at the scale of everything going on
Yeah.
around you. Um, so I think it would be a good template to pull for a Godzilla game for sure. I don't think it'll ever happen, but yeah, no, yeah, people would complain
It,
about not being a Godzilla the entire time. Yep,
yeah,
no, they would.
it would be nice to have more boots on the ground kaiju games. Obviously, I think we
Mhm.
don't have enough of them. Uh, but like Disaster Day of Crisis is basically the only kind of like or you know, City Shroud and Shadow is basically the only game franchise that does like boots on the ground disaster
Right.
games, and that's essentially what a third person first person kaiju boots on the ground game would be, is a
Yeah.
disaster game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting though. It's really fun. I liked the gameplay of this was more interesting, I think, than Super Godzilla.
Well, of course.
Uh, I mean, yeah, you got like 3 decades later. Uh, I think this didn't like push the narrative in like a very strange direction, whereas like with like Super Godzilla, like they invented basically what became Space Godzilla.
hmm
Like they moved the franchise forward. This like the special ending is basically just like Kong climbs down. uh, it wasn't as glitchy as like some of the games that we see nowadays are, but the glitches were very fun when they did happen. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about it. I feel like I
Yeah.
have more to say this time.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun to talk about. So we will release that episode probably literally right before Thanksgiving. Is
Yeah.
when the episode will come out. And then I don't know what I will be streaming on the channel next, or if Rob will be streaming something. But we are planning on just kind of like periodically, just like streaming random games that we're playing every once in a while.
My dream
Um,
is to actually get like I'm gonna try to get like an Ethernet cable all the way into my office from like
mhm,
where the Google fiber like cable comes into the house.
mhm.
Uh, Once I do that, I'll be able to actually properly stream. The thing I need to figure out is can my computer handle it? So find out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you could stream stuff from your PS4, but
That's
yeah,
fair. And yeah, I mean, like if your laptop can handle like capturing, and like streaming, I
yeah,
guess like my computer could handle it probably, but
I would assume. But yeah,
The-
but we'll we'll
the-
we'll see. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna stream next. But I mean, we bought the capture card not just for us to do like games that we're covering in episodes, but yeah, just like
yeah,
if I'm happening to play a game that I wouldn't mind, just throwing it stream up, like I definitely will. Obviously, it's a lot of that comes down to like I can't really stream from downstairs while my son is awake because he is destructive and he will just go straight for the laptop and
yeah,
never stop.
it-
So I can only stream at night or evenings when Marissa is not dead tired and can watch Garrus for a bit. But anywho, but yeah, so look forward to the episode on this coming out right before Thanksgiving. And then, yes, the Godzilla fighting game for the SNES. I have played it. I actually own it, technically. I own, no, well, it's not for the SNES, it's for the Famicom. But yeah,
oh,
I do own a cartridge of that. But yes, there is easy to play ROMs of it. So that's definitely something that we could do at some point down the line. Yeah, it's a 2D fighter. Um, but anyway, but yeah, so look forward to that. And then Fan Month is coming up in December. So I think we'll be doing the Patreon fan month episode first, I think. That's a very good question now that I think about it. I
Yeah,
need to
we need
relook
to-
when Camp Cretaceous comes out, because Camp Cretaceous comes out at the very beginning of the month, if I remember right. So it might be Camp Cretaceous that comes out first in December, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Well, also we need to like get our list together, and then we need to get the
the patron vote. Yeah.
list.
Oh, something for you patrons.
Hey.
You guys, I did reach out to you on Patreon for your T-shirts. If you're a $15 and up, please check your Patreon messages. I know I have addresses for most of you already, but I just want to double check and make sure I'm sending them to the right place. So just a thumbs up through Patreon would be great. I think that would be really, really good. Eric, no, the shirt is amazing. They have no idea what's coming, but it's gonna be great. So, but yeah, any of you patrons that are on right now, if you're a $15 patron, you have not checked your messages, please do, because we need to get those shirts sent out as soon as possible, in order for them to get there by Christmas ish. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching us play PJKK, and we will see you next time, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.